Hi, I'm Kylie, just another Army vet. Welcome to another reaction video. So today I'm starting a new reaction series from a channel called the Ministry of Defense of Singapore. This is the Combat Medic Specialist, Every Soldier's Lifeline. Now, because this series is about 9 or 10 years old, I do realize that some of the stuff is probably a little dated. However, as a former combat medic for the U.S. Army, I really do want to react to this, and I know a lot of people have requested this series. Also, this series has about 9 episodes, so I'm going to break this up into maybe 4 parts or so. Let's get to it. So this should be episodes 1 and 2 today that I'm reacting to.
Yeah.
13 weeks. So the U.S. Army actually does 16 weeks of combat medic school. Our MOS is 68 Whiskey, and we do our schooling at Fort Sam Houston, which is in San Antonio, Texas. IVs.
From infantry coming over here is a huge gap because one that focuses much more on war tactics, but when come over here we focus much more on saving lives.
So those books look really familiar. I think they might be the same books that we actually use.
I didn't expect to come to this course, and it's a bit of a surprise. For now, I'm glad to be in this course because I get to learn things that I don't get to learn outside.
Training is done in a progressive manner to instill the right skill sets to enhance the confidence of the trainees. In order to produce competent medical specialist leaders, we have the medical simulations, which is done at our state-of-the-art simulation center.
Simman.
We also have the ambulance runs, whereby trainees have real hands-on experience to be the first-line provider in the streets, as well as hospital management of emergency cases. The last couple of days will be the summary exercise. Trainees will be put under a lot of stress in a realistic environment, whereby IV cannulations also will be done.
Okay, well done, Tony K. Well done.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce to you the preparation phase followed by the actual conduct of the live IV itself. Prior to your live IV today, you are supposed to try on the dummy arm. What you see here is actually the dummy arm. Okay, you can see the structure of the vein. You thick skin one may have this kind of skin also. Okay, first of all, I'll introduce to you the item that is needed. On your first attempt until your third attempt, we'll be using the 20G needle. Okay. The actual needle that you'll be issued with inside your medic bag is actually an 18G needle. Okay, the numbers go the opposite way. The bigger the number, the smaller the needle. You have 2 attempts today. Your objective is to clock 1 successful IV today. I don't want you to rush through the motion or rush through the sequence. I want you to be familiar with the technique and the sequence first. Clear?
So the U.S. military does possess dummy arms just like that. However, we do more live sticks just because it's better practice. Now, when I went to AIT or medic school, we actually learned how to do IVs on each other. We got 1 live demonstration, then we got into small groups, and then we had to just go through the steps and actually give our buddies an IV. One thing about AIT is that we got stuck a lot. There's the flash.
Not many people are big fans of needles, myself included. like when it came to the real thing, I was like really like afraid that I might hurt my buddy or so. I'm a bit thankful that I got it within one shot instead of some people who didn't manage to do that. Hopefully it's not a one-off and I can carry on this momentum to the future IVs.
Most of the time when you're learning how to do IVs, you start on the easy veins, such as your AC, which is right here. So the fact that they're actually going for the more difficult sticks, I'm actually impressed.
IV skill would have a very significant effect on the status of the casualty itself. If the casualty is hypovolemic, they're suffering from severe blood loss, which could be a very common result of a gunshot injury in the military context. Need to replace their fluids very quickly. IV is the fast and the best way to do it. This is why this is called the Lifeline.
Today basically is our 5th IV session, so it wasn't a good day for me. Today what I learned was you must work very well under pressurized situation. The first 2 times my CSI took me, so I was a bit nervous and scared.
I was quite worried when he didn't get the primary blood flow because he was poking the muscle evidently, because you can feel the sharp pain. It's a different kind of pain when the catheter enters the vein.
So for the first few sessions of IV lessons, they were actually learning on 20 gauge needles, which are pretty small actually. But if you have a trauma patient, you want to use large bore IVs, such as a 16 or an 18 gauge. And yes, because they're bigger, they can be a little more difficult to actually stick. So it's really important that they actually master this.
You cannot go on. Direction is very important until your direction is wrong. From the moment you insert the needle, I know your direction. You must be very sure where you are, where the needle is, where the vein is.
Why is he wearing a beret?
I actually prefer getting poked because you're under less stress.
Inside.
Even though the feeling isn't that good, but under the supervision of the commanders, you know you'll be safe through the whole thing.
Over these 10 practice sessions, you will be mastering the technical skills of how to apply an IV. This time round, I made the mistake twice and I learned from it. The very important thing is that you must be composed, you must know your stuff in order to perform it well enough and to be successful.
The most important session for the intravenous infusion would be their last session. That's the one that determines how much they have actually learned and how proficient they are with the skill itself.
Strides.
We have to adapt to different environments within the safety rover or ambulance. So we have to learn it quickly so that we can apply it safely.
Chorus will be a huge wow because we see how they're able to actually utilize their resources very well and adding more compartments so that we know where to put the Hartmans, the IV needles and more. So it's a very good utility of resources basically.
See, that looks like it's more of a modern civilian ambulance. I wonder if they actually also learn on like the Army field ambulances, you know, the kind that you might have seen for the US Army or FLAs.
Combat phase has started. It's been definitely quite challenging and shag.
They will learn to drag and lift casualties out of the battlefield. These techniques may seem very intuitive at the start, but actually, when it actually comes down to the actual technique, it involves a lot of skill and it requires actual training to prevent the medics from getting hurt.
Center your body okay also, okay?
So people tend to underestimate just how exhausting it is to move a patient from point A to point B, especially when you're loaded down with all this gear and equipment. And that's why they teach us all these techniques. That way you don't hurt yourself and you don't cause further injury to your patient. And choosing the right drag or carry is also dependent on what resources you have available, as well as where the injury is on the patient and how severe it is. And what kind of environment you're in as well.
Today the training was on urban ops, so it's about carrying the casualties in enclosed space and by staircases.
And what is the first carry you'll be doing will be the piggyback one. At the lift landing, okay, you'll put your body down. After that, you can swap over and do a fireman carry.
When building is being hijacked, the lifts won't be working, so I have to evacuate the casualties by stairs, and there'll be a lot of turning and maneuvering. Out in the field, we can turn and move around freely, but in these enclosed places, we have to take care of the casualty safety as well as our safety.
Yeah, you were struggling a bit, right? How is it?
No, the go-up is okay, it's just taking the steps. If you are up and comfortable, then I can easily go.
Hey, you're not that heavy, eh?
You're also not that heavy, I thought you would be harder.
See, if that guy had an abdominal injury, then doing a fireman carry would not be a good idea.
I think for me the main key takeaway is definitely teamwork, because due to teamwork we can actually evacuate even faster so that we won't give up to save that person's life.
So is this the end of training? Full battle order. What does that mean?
There's a combination of two different groups for this route march this time around. And then the key takeaway is basically for the whole specs is that how we're able to become better leaders and also in a way show our higher morale to our fellow men that's behind us. When we are all really tired and really shagged, from there we can judge on who we can trust and how we can help each other out to really complete the whole 8-kilometer route march, because it's definitely very challenging with our instructors putting additional pressure and expectation on all of us.
Everything down.
We also did rucks at AIT as well.
Don't leave your water tube lying around. People step on your water tube. The mouthpiece crack. You complain. I cannot drink water. Put sports. Never take out equipment. Expect equipment take care of you. Hell no.
In other words, take care of your equipment.
I suffered an injury on my left knee. But then despite that, I still continue with a lesser load so that it won't really injure my knee even further. I want to continue is basically to really feel the tightness with the whole course itself.
Camaraderie.
With all our songs that combine all the craziness of the whole family, it's very exciting to show to the men that we can do it, so can you.
Spectors, tomorrow night out, you know what to do.
Most of us have already spent our energy on the training earlier in the day. This route march is slightly more difficult because the calf is in pain from this and drag that we've done in the previous few days. And seeing that how we are able to push one another through because of the cheers and the songs that we sang, I feel that it's very motivating.
Our ruck marches were always in the morning for PT. We never just had one in the evening like this. So far, I'm really enjoying the series. However, I'm confused on why they jumped right into IVs and lifts and carries, because I would expect a series like this to actually start on day 1 and end on the last day. Anyway, once I do film the next part, I'll put it right here. Until then, if you did get some value from this video, then please help the channel out by giving me a like and a sub. Thanks for watching.